Alright, so we're going to be doing a install on B&B radiator guards for 2017-2018 Ktm 450-500. Also these suit Husky FE450 and 501. So I've unpacked it all here. These are actually in two pieces. So that actually removes both of those. So you got your braces that there, all the Allen key bolts and washers and that come. So there's a parts list there. 8mm socket and 5mm Allen key for these. So what we're going to start off with first up is the removal of the factory plastic guards out of here, which should be just 8mm socket, 4 bolts on each side. Second factory guard off only takes a couple of minutes, like a minute aside or something to get them off. I've already been in here the other day and cleaned out all the debris out of here, so that's all pretty cool to go there. We'll jump in the back here and take the seat off. Only a couple of bolts on either, or a bolt on either side, so a couple of bolts. Seat off. Tank bolt in the middle of here that has to come out. I'll get that sucker out. Don't forget, we need to disconnect the fuel line here. So press on that sucker. That releases the fuel line off there to disconnect that. So that will do. So that's apart. By rights, I think we should be sweet for this tank to slide off. Don't forget to disconnect your cable plug from the fuel pump here. Don't really want to zoom in on that too clearly, but yeah, disconnect that sucker. Back to bare radiator guards here, so quite easily get at the front and the back here. Got thermo fan on this side, so these are designed to go around the thermo, so we'll see what we've got to do. I think the next step on here is we need to remove these tank bolts off here. So we've got a feeling that the braces bolt back to there. We'll suss that out. So I need to pull the radiator off these mounts in here. So these guys here, top and bottom, so they need to pull off those mounts. So we'll get that off there. Now this is how the bracket should go in there. That's parallel with the front of the frame. Alright, so that's the way that should look in there. Rubber loop from up the top there, sit behind on the 10mm spacer, the plate there, then the 6mm spacer, and then your rubber stop and bolt back into there. Try and get this sucker through here as well. And using 10mm spacer, little loop buddy on there. That needs to go on there, that needs to go on there. The rubber the stop's got to go back on. That will obviously be a 6x20, so I'll need 2 of them. These rubber stops are actually metal inserted, so I don't see why we would need another washer in there. So no thermo on this side, so it's a bit easier to get at the bolt in here. So them all bolted up there as per instruction. 10mm spacer, 6mm spacer, 6x20mm cap head. Same on that side. So it's saying a little bit harder on here to work on that because of the thermo fan there. We have this countersunk bolt, which looks like it bolts through the frame here, through that guard. Come out the other side into this thing. And then get that sucker to line up. Sneak this in past the thermostat there. Over the top of the thermo. So I got this bit in here, so that lines up with that hole there. And we've got this arm bar or whatever you want to call it goes through, and that lines up in through there with a hole in that plate on that other side there. Oh, how simple is that? So this side here is nice and simple. It just goes on there, lines up with those 2 holes there. So that's all nice and sweet. So we'll get some bolts and bolt these sides on. So yeah, I'd say as a tip, make sure you do this one up for the brace on the other side before you put these ones on, because it's a little bit hard to get at that one, but I ain't going to take this brace off, I don't think so. But just a tip there. So it seems like this part here, the outer shroud for the louver section, it goes on to the factory mounts in there, and then bolts onto the new holes provided by this outside brace. There and there. We've obviously got the holes on the outer edge here for the radiator shroud, so we'll have a look at that. Alright, so we're using the factory bolts to go onto the inside in here. I take it we'll use the ones that's got the built-in washer on there. Gonna hold that in place. Alright, so this all lines up in here. Put the tank and the shrouds back on. So the factory holes through the radiator shrouds there line up with the new holes on the braces there, on the guards. So we're going to use the standard factory bolts to bolt that back in. Alright, so then we have the actual louvers themselves actually slot in there. So there's a hole there, so it goes over the one that actually locks it in place here. And you've got the, we go through there and there to bolt it on, which will be the supplied same deal here. Well, we've got the horn wires on this side, so we've got to work out We're going to tuck them through to come out. Alright, so that should pretty much be it. Tank bolt done back up. Seat back in place, bolted up. So don't forget to connect your fuel line back up as well. Might have a bit of dramas starting it if you don't connect that back up. Hoi hoi people, just one little thing for you. If you're trying to start your bike and it's not wanting to start, just check that you remembered to plug the fuel pump back in, because that can always help the bike run. And voila! Don't forget that little sucker.